Although the towering personality of our chief guest, Dr. Sameer V. Kamath, does not need any introduction, I request the Senate Chairman, Professor Pramod Kumar Jain, to formally introduce the chief guest to the audience.
As I have already introduced our chief guest of the function, Dr. Sameer V. Kamath, who is the Chairman, Secretary Department of Defense R&D and Chairman Defense Research and Development Organization. He has been a visionary guiding force for evolving new DRDO policies and mechanisms for accelerating the development of cutting-edge defense technologies for future needs of defense and security to achieve Atmanirbharta in defense. He is also a great visionary and providing decisive leadership for creating ecosystem for translational research within the country. He is great advocate for bringing DRDO, academia, startups and industry on unified platform. Now I request our honorable chief guest of the function, Dr. Kamath, to deliver his convocation address. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Kota Harinarayana, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT BHU. Professor P.K. Jain, Director, IIT BHU. Professor Dwivedi, Shri Srivastav, dignitaries in the audience, faculty members, staff, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to address all of you on this momentous occasion of the 12th annual convocation of IIT BHU. I am very thankful to Professor Jain for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to address you. 4 days back, I got a foot injury, but I was still very keen to come and not miss this chance. Dear young graduates, at the outset, let me congratulate you on your graduation. Today marks an important day in your lives and a significant milestone in your career journey. As you look back, you will remember the moments you rejoiced in, the numerous challenges you faced and subsequently overcome, and how each of these experiences have made you more resilient. It's a moment of great pride for you as much as it is for your teachers, parents, and those who played a part in shaping your life so far. You have worked incredibly hard to get to this point, and you richly deserve all the accolades. You are among the fortunate few who have the privilege of graduating from one of the premier institutions in the world. This institute has been true to the vision of its founder, Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, and its alumni have excelled and brought laurels to the institute and the nation. My best wishes and congratulations to the distinguished alumni awardees today. The knowledge, skills, and the values that you have acquired at IIT BHU will stand you in good stead throughout your career. However, please note that your education does not conclude today. It merely enters a new phase. To quote Albert Einstein, let not your education interfere with your learning. Learning is lifelong. A degree is just a start. I'm certain that some of you already know what you want to do next and have your life all planned out. But it is equally likely that there are many among you who don't know what you want to do next and are sitting on a haunch of a dilemma, not knowing what to do next. It was about 38 years back when I was in your shoes after completing my B.Tech from IIT Kharagpur. I was also facing a similar dilemma. 1980s was completely a different time than what it is today. The opportunities in the country were very limited. The only option available to graduating students then was to take up a job or go for higher studies. I chose to go for higher studies, or go abroad to US for my PhD, because most of my friends were going abroad and I didn't want to have, as you youngsters say today, FOMO, of fear of missing out. I can say that I'm glad I took that decision, because it was during my PhD that I realized that R&D was my passion. It was quite fortuitous that I joined DRDO. Professor Ramarao, who was also a faculty member at IIT BHU before he became Director of Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory, was visiting Ohio State University for a conference. It was a chance meeting with him that convinced me that I should come back to India and join the Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory. He was very kind enough that he offered me an ad hoc position at the very same time. Those were different days. Today we don't have that flexibility. But at that point, it was in the power of directors of DRDO laboratories to give ad hoc appointments, which got regularized in the subsequent time. In hindsight, my joining DMRL was indeed a right decision. I have thoroughly enjoyed my journey in DRDO. DRDO has given me the opportunity to pursue applied research, develop technologies and products which find applications in defense systems for our military, to lead R&D programs and eventually lead the organization itself. It has taught me that if you want to succeed, you have to be flexible and adaptive, collaborate, be willing to take calculated risks, constantly learn and update your skills, and last but not least, persevere, put in the hard yards. These are some lessons which may help you as well. Of course, there is no magic formula for success. There comes a point in time when each one of us has to choose our own path. However, if you pursue something which you enjoy doing, which you have a passion for, it is highly likely that you will succeed. Now let me share a few words about DRDO. DRDO is the R&D wing of the Ministry of Defense of Government of India. It was formed in 1958, and over the years it has grown multifold in terms of the variety of subject disciplines, number of laboratories, achievement and stature. DRDO's vision is to empower India with cutting-edge technologies, and our mission is to achieve self-reliance in critical defense technologies and systems, while equipping our armed forces with state-of-the-art weapon systems and equipment. Our past successes include indigenous development of strategic systems and platforms such as Agni and Prithvi series of missiles, the light combat aircraft. One of the architects of light combat aircraft, Dr. Kota Harinarayana, is the board of governors. I think the passion with which he drove the LCA program is remarkable, and where we are today in the country in the fighter aircraft business is all due to his efforts. We also have made the main battle tank, the multi-barrel rocket launcher system Pinaka, air defense missile Akash, a wide range of radars and electronic warfare systems, communication systems, sensors such as sonars, underwater weapons such as torpedoes and mines. Our recent successes includes Mission Shakti, which was a demonstration of the anti-satellite capability, and Mission Smart, where we are able to deliver a torpedo for anti-submarine warfare using a missile. All these technologies and systems that we have developed have given a significant jump to India's military might, generating effective deterrence and providing the crucial leverage for the country to grow in its economic objective. There are also several new programs which are now on the anvil. These include the 5th generation aircraft AMCA, the hypersonic missile program, the air-independent propulsion for the submarines, high-endurance autonomous vehicles, over-the-horizon radars, next-generation main battle tanks, and many more. All these new systems should come to fruition in the coming years. Developing each of these complex systems and technologies involves a multi-year journey of teams which have cross-domain expertise, working together across laboratories, across organizations, and each one of them have a story in itself. I thought I'll narrate 3 of them today. The first is about the Integrated Missile Development Program, or IGMDP, which was initiated in 1983 and is synonymous with our ex-president, the beloved Bharat Ratna, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. In 1983, the country had very limited resources, both in terms of money as well as technological capabilities. But Dr. Kalam, had the vision, the passion to visualize that we could take up 5 missiles, the Agni, Prithvi, Akash, Trishul, and Nag, all together in parallel. It was his mission, his leadership, which has now resulted in the country being self-sufficient, and I can even say a leader in missile technology today. We can make any type of missiles, and our missiles are one of the best in the world. This effort was not only restricted to DRDO. It was a collaboration with several laboratories from CSIR and other government institutions, academic institutions, and industry, which included MSMEs. The second story is about air-independent propulsion, which allows conventional diesel-electric submarines to remain underwater. This increases the operational effectiveness of these submarines because they don't have to surface to recharge their batteries, which allows them to remain undetected. Now, air-independent propulsion is a very complicated technology. Only 3 countries in the world currently have this technology, and one of them is India. This started as a S&T project to develop a fuel cell. All of you are now familiar with hydrogen-based economy, where hydrogen is going to drive fuel cells to produce electricity. One of our small laboratories, Naval Materials Research Laboratory near Mumbai, took up development of fuel cells to produce energy. At the time when they took up this project, they were not looking at developing any major system. As they went along their research and developed this phosphoric acid fuel cell and demonstrated it in one of the exhibitions, one of the Navy's senior admirals saw it, and he suggested, is it possible to convert this fuel cell, which was giving about 500 watts of power, into an air-independent propulsion which requires a power of about 250 kilowatts to drive a submarine. This challenge was taken up by a small laboratory with maybe 50 scientists. And today I'm proud to say that they have been able to achieve a fully marinized AIP, which will now get into the first Scorpene which the Indian Navy operates when it comes for its refit. This is an example where you can start small, but eventually reach a point where it makes a significant contribution to the nation's capabilities. So each one of you, don't worry if you look at a small objective initially, but keep pursuing your dreams until that objective keeps growing and eventually reaches a significant value. The third story I would like to narrate is about the development of rare earth permanent magnets. All of you are familiar with rare earth permanent magnets. This technology was developed by the laboratory which I worked in, Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory, in the late 80s, early 90s, using samarium. These rare earth permanent magnets are of two types, neodymium iron boron or samarium cobalt. For most strategic applications, the requirement is of samarium cobalt magnets because they can operate at higher temperatures. Now, samarium was not available in the country, so our laboratory used to get imported samarium, and using the imported samarium, we developed the technology to make these magnets, and the laboratory was supplying it to ISRO, BARC and the DRDO laboratories, which needed this magnet for a lot of critical applications. Our northern neighbor China gradually started acquiring all the resources of rare earths, not only within China, but all over the world. And eventually, by early 2000s, they had 90% control over the supply of rare earths. And suddenly in 2010, they decided to cut down exports of rare earths, citing environmental concerns for when they mine the rare earths. So citing this environmental concerns, they reduced the exports by 40 to 50%. This resulted in a shortage of samarium in the market, and even if you were willing to pay good money, this material was not available. So this put a lot of our strategic programs in jeopardy, because these are very critical both in defense and atomic energy. So a consortium was formed between Atomic Energy, that is BARC, IREL, which is Indian Rare Earths Limited, and DMRL, to see if it was possible, because India had resources of rare earths in the beach sands of Kerala and Orissa, but it was being converted only to rare earth oxides and sold. It was not being converted to rare earth metals, which is required to make the magnets. So this consortium looked at how to do the extraction of the monazite ore, which is available in the beach sands, convert it to rare earth oxides, then convert it to rare earth metals, and then convert that rare earth metal into a magnet. And within a span of 3 to 4 years, this entire supply chain was established within the country, and a production plant was also set up by IREL to supply these magnets. So when there is a crisis, there is capability available in the country to rise to the occasion and meet the requirements of the country. So these are some stories I wanted to tell you because you are starting off on your journey. Please don't be daunted by the challenge in front of you. If you work together, anything can be achieved. At DRDO, we believe in Balasyam Moolam Vijnanam. The source of strength is science. DRDO has the firm determination to make the nation strong and self-reliant in terms of science and technology, especially in the field of defense. Recently in DRDO, we have started 5 young scientists laboratories where everyone, including the director of the laboratory, is below the age of 35. These laboratories have been tasked to address emerging technologies such as cyber-physical systems, quantum technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, smart materials, and asymmetric technologies. We want these laboratories to become the equivalent of startups within the DRDO ecosystem. As your Chairman, Board of Governors, and your Director mentioned, DRDO has also opened 15 centers of excellence. We call this DRDO Industry Academia Centers of Excellence in various academic institutions, including IIT BHU. We would like these DIA COEs to become hubs for innovation and development of cutting-edge technologies, similar to what is available in the United States like Stanford, MIT. We want these academic institutions and these centers of excellence to become hubs and create wealth for the nation. With our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and becoming a technology leader, and in the next 25 years, in the Amrit Kal, as our Honorable Prime Minister calls it, the future for the nation and DRDO is bright. I would like some of the students who are graduating here to consider DRDO as one of your options for your career. We as a nation have made unmatched and enviable strides towards the future. One thing that has played a vital role in our dramatic and inspirational rise is science and technology. Our Prime Minister has even coined a phrase in 2019, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, and Jai Anusandhan, to recognize the efforts of our scientists and researchers. We have made immense scientific advancements which have brought laurels to our nation. Some of our recent scientific achievements include the Covaxin, the indigenously developed COVID-19 vaccine, Mission Shakti, the Chandrayaan-3 mission, the Aditya L1 mission. Apart from these, we have made significant advances in enabling the startup ecosystem in the country. I think today we are the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world after United States and China. However, you should note that the rate of change of technology has accelerated. Several new disruptive technologies have emerged. Also, climate change has become a reality. So, a lot of new sustainable technologies have to be developed. So, these are challenging times, and you are graduating at the right time, because unless there is a challenge, there is no fun. So you are graduating at the right time, and I am sure that each one of you will excel and make the country proud. I would like to quote 4 lines from our Honorable former President Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you, unquote. If you are prepared to think big and act in time with conviction and take appropriate risks, you will be rewarded. My dear young friends, you are the future of this nation. Your generation will lead in transitioning India from a developing to a developed nation. May God give you wisdom, success, and true sense of fulfillment for your cherished goals. Thank you. let me congratulate all the award winners as well as all the graduating students once again. Jai Hind.